About a year ago, I took a class to learn how to bind my own book, and this is the one that I made. It's pretty loose because I didn't do a good enough job of keeping the binding nice and tight. I don't have any of the materials needed to actually kind of poke the holes and do the stitching or anything like that. But before I was done, I did make a new set of covers. And of course, I screwed up because I was in a bit of a hurry, so one cover has this pretty blue on the front and on the back, and the other one just has the same color paper. It's not that big of a deal. One can be the front and one can be the back. The front and the back look really nice, but I didn't get a chance to poke any holes in this. I do, however, happen to have a binding machine that will put holes in, and then I can make this into a ring binder. So that's what I'm thinking about doing, is making this into a ring bound little sketchbook. And I happen to have a whole bunch of watercolor paper here that I'm thinking about putting in here and making it into a little art journal that I can take with me on trips. So first thing I need to do is I need to go get that binding machine and see if I can actually poke through this really thick material. I think maybe it can, because I know it can poke through quite a few sheets. So if it can poke through this, then I can kind of get those holes punched and then get the holes punched in the paper and then bind this together, and I'll have a really cute little watercolor sketchbook that'll be fun to take with me on trips. I kind of ducked down a little bit so you can see me, but this is the machine in question that can make my little binding holes. This is some cardboard, or there's another name for this that I can't think of right now. If I think of it, I'll put it down at the bottom here. That is pretty similar in thickness to this. I think this might be a little bit harder than this, but generally speaking, I think it's pretty equivalent. I know that I have used this stuff before in here, so I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to punch the holes in this, and then it will be ready to use for the cover. So let me just turn this guy to the side so you can see a little bit. Oof. There we go, and so I can actually use the machine. Well, that's a bummer. My covers that I already have made will not go in far enough, so I'm going to have to make new covers. Thankfully, I do have some of this, so I can make my own covers, but it's going to require a little bit more effort than I originally anticipated, and it's going to require me to find some pretty paper to put on here. Oh well. When I said I had a lot of paper to choose from, I wasn't kidding. I did scrapbooking for a while, I did card making for a while, and for a little while, Color Book was in my town, and every year they would have a garage sale, and you could go buy their stuff for really cheap. You could get like an inch of their paper for like $1. So I have accumulated a lot of paper over the years, and I have not used up anywhere near all of it. And this is not all of it that I had at one point. I have a whole bunch of it that I am planning on donating. That is just not stuff that I liked as much. So I'm just gonna kind of peruse this and see if I can find some paper that I like, pull out a few sheets, and get some options. I'm kind of bummed. I like that one a lot, but I don't think I'd be able to make it work. So maybe I have to go with the holographic circles, which is really cool. And it kind of gives me, well, I can see blues or purples in there because it's kind of holographic. Rainbowy. I have 2 sheets of that. I think this will be cool. So I'm going to go with this holographic, and then I got to pick some paper to go on the inside, which means I could pick some of the paper from here to go on the inside, because this is white and it's got like a rainbow effect to it. So if I wanted to, I could do that. Interesting. I think I like the understated of the blue. Okay. Have my colors picked out. Excellent. Alright, I've done all of the boring bits. I've cut everything out to size. So I've got, these are my outside. This is what the outside of the book is going to look like. Here are the cardboard panels, and you can see that I made this outside bit about 1/4 of an inch larger on each side, so that way I can kind of fold it over and glue it down. And then my plan is to just put this pretty blue on the inside to hide all of the raw edges there, and then we'll have a bunch of watercolor paper in the middle. There's about 10 sheets here. It's nice and heavy paper, so figured that's a reasonable size, especially if I'm going to be taking this on vacation. I don't want it to be too big. So this is where we are. The next step is to kind of figure out where to lay this paper out on, or sorry, the cardboard out on the paper, so that I can then kind of cut the edges off here so that when I fold it over, it's really nice and kind of lines up nice and flush. So I'm just kind of eyeballing this a little bit. You can always be more precise if you want to be. It doesn't really matter that much. I am just kind of going to mark the corners here. Now I can take this off, and then I can just nip the edges here. Let me see if I got scissors here. Yep, I do. I just kind of want to go at about a 45-degree angle there and come real close to the corner. Basically, I'm mitering the edges. Boom. 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 Just a little bit of scrap. And then I can take this and I can glue it up and then press it onto there. And then I'll probably have to just leave that under something nice and heavy for it to make sure it adheres. And I'm just using Elmer's glue sticks to adhere everything. I think I want to get a scrap piece of paper to put under here so that if I happen to go off the edge, it's not a big deal. Use my handy dandy little placemat here. Apparently got a little bit warped, but whatever. It's just been sitting in a drawer over there. And I'm going to make sure to glue this up really nicely here. And I'm sure that there is better glue out there, like a bookbinding glue or something like that. But this is what I used in the class that I took on making your own books. So that's just what I am going to use here. So now I'm just going to flip this over and line it up with those corners. Oops, let me wipe that off. Line it up with the corners that I kind of drew on there already. I'm going to set this off to the side under something heavy, and then I'll do the other side. I'll find some heavy stuff, and then I'll be back in a little bit to finish kind of putting this all together. So I was dealt a little bit of a devastating blow. Unfortunately, these book covers will not fit into my binding machine. It's just a little bit too thick. I cannot slide it in far enough in order to punch the holes in it in order to put the ring binding on there, much like the original covers that I was planning on using. So now I have 2 sets of book covers that I'll have to figure out how I'm going to use at some point in the future. I might end up looking to see if there's something I can do with my laser cutter to cut holes in these or something like that so that I can use them, because I think they're really pretty. They're super cute and I want to be able to use them, but they're just going to have to go on the shelf for now. So that meant that I was left without covers for my book. So I went back upstairs, found some more of this cardboard, cut it down to size, and decided that I'm not going to decorate it at all. I'm not going to put any papers on there. It's just going to be this nice kind of brown cover. And the nice thing about this is now I can decorate it any way that I want to. I can use any kind of Posca markers or paint markers or anything like that and just decorate the cover up however I want to. It isn't as pretty as I had hoped but I do have a finished product, so that's nice. I didn't end up wasting any of the paper that I had already punched holes in, because I'd already punched the holes in all of the paper that's going inside. There are 10 sheets of really nice heavy-duty watercolor paper in here, and now I have a little journal that I can take with me. I'm going on a little trip this weekend, so I'm going to take this with me, and hopefully I'll have some nice little paintings and or drawings in here that I can share with you guys next week. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this. It was a bit of a struggle for me, but I did end up with a nice little watercolor journal that I can take with me, and this will be kind of a little travel journaly thing that I can use. And perhaps I'm going to try some plein air this weekend. I'm going to be going on a little trip with family, so hopefully I will have some stuff to show you guys next week. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.